Jeff is just so fucking cool.
All right, yo. Welcome to the All Grind Sports Show, episode 2, man. We back at it. I go by the name of JC, and I'm here with two of my wonderful guests, my guy, Isaiah Anthony, and my big dog, Jeff Dewberry. Appreciate y'all once again, man. We got a lot to get into today, but first off, I just want to thank all of y'all for, supporting and sharing and liking, comments, and all that good stuff, man, and just helping us take it as far as we can, man. So continue to do that. Continue to help us push. And with that being said, Isaiah, it's my turn this week, buddy. Let's go. Yes, sir.
Y'all got the job done in Wild Card Weekend. Y'all definitely.
You were supposed to. It would have been a total failure.
Hey, man, I ain't gonna lie. I still have some nerves going. I don't care about none of that. We definitely dropped some games this year we wasn't supposed to, and everything that could go right went right. Everything that could go wrong for the Cards went wrong. And I definitely was shocked at Murray's performance. Isaiah, last week you said he was gonna miss Hop. Man, that was an understatement, bro. I knew he was gonna miss him, but not like that.
Yeah,
not like that, man.
That game was pretty bad, bro. Like especially the pick six that he threw, where he just
that's it. Like he just looked like it was looking like Carson Wentz for a second, like where he like tries to force stuff. I never seen Murray do stuff like that.
But I can't lie, his O-line didn't do him much justice that game either. It was just an all-around bad performance from the Cardinals. Like,
I mean, even as a Rams fan, I think like I think people are like doing overkill with like how much they're going at Murray, because it's like this is his first playoff game and he has to deal with a line of Von Miller, Floyd, Robinson, and of course this guy right here. Like for his first playoff game, like that's tough for any QB. I don't care how seasoned you are. Brady is gonna have some trouble coming this weekend. So let alone, his first time in a playoff game. You got nerves as it is, and then you got to deal with that on your first game. That type of pass rush, like that's probably historically one of the greatest ever. Like, so I mean, I think, and then it got me to thinking too. Like, I think when it comes to like I was talking to my boy about it. It seems like anytime like your team loses in the playoffs, the first go-to is usually like the QB, and people like, oh, my QB's garbage, get rid of my QB. And then you have to think about it like really think about it. How many quarterbacks in the league are better than your quarterback? I think that's what people should really think about. Like legitimately, if you're not like a certain caliber, like with Russell Wilson and Rodgers and Brady, you don't really hear that type of talk when they lose. Like, oh,
but like Cardinals fans aren't like saying replace Kyler. He looked bad. His first playoff game, like you said.
But you see all these questions in the media of like, oh, is Murray the guy? And like, like shit like that is what I'm.
Well, it's his first playoff game. Like, it's fun to ask it now. He was a number one pick, so it's just like, okay, now we just asked the question. But it's like their team didn't look good for the whole second half of the year. Kyler's done this 2 years in a row. He and the team looks good first half of the year. Then he breaks down. Team breaks down, and they got no answers second half of the season. So. You guys took care of business. Like we said, you were supposed to win, and I wish I would have bet on you guys. Would have made some more money.
No, I actually won some bread too to make it a little sweeter. I think I won like.
What'd you bet on?
Who'd I bet on?
Just the Rams. I
just bet on my squad. Somebody was bugging me because they kept talking about like we might lose or whatever. So. He hit me with an offer I couldn't refuse because I knew we wasn't losing in no first round.
I did a 3-way parlay with I bet on the Buccaneers, the Chiefs, and who else was an overwhelming favorite? Who was another one?
You made money off that though?
Yeah, well, you parlay all three of them. That's what they all three.
No, but it's still like, oh, I've tried that. And it's like still.
I'm thinking I'm missing the third one. I can't. Who was the third?
Oh, right.
Yeah, the Bills. Yeah, because you guys were all Patriots are going to win. I was like, Bills for the Bills.
I didn't say they.
All right, well, yeah, let's talk about it. So
I thought the Patriots would play much better.
Yeah, like no, I didn't. I even if they lost, I wasn't saying like I thought they win. I just thought there was at least like a chance. Like I didn't see that coming. I mean, you saw 47-17.
Well, of course, not like the most dominant. I mean, what they never had to punt, they never turned it over, whatever that stat was. But I thought the Bills had their rough game against them in the season. I thought the Bills have usually kicked teams' asses. That's why I just thought they were definitely just gonna stick it to the rookie quarterback and show them that we're the real talented team. Patriots
They're not ready yet.
Yeah, Patriots had a great smoke and mirrors season. They overachieved, but now they're running into real football teams. And Josh Allen, this isn't his first rodeo, and it's definitely Mac Jones's first rodeo.
So now they're seeing like what they need to address going forward.
Yeah, just more talent. I mean, this was a transitional year. I mean, well, last year was, but this is like first year of the rebuild. Now you have your quarterback, so start getting in protection, start getting in weapons, and keep doing what Belichick does. Usually find weird, good defensive players in weird places.
Got you. Let's talk about y'all. probably
nothing to talk about there. None.
One of the
no one. I mean,
not much
the game was close. We did think it'd be a coin flip, and it came down to the final possession. But so that's a good season in our book. The Bengals should have won. They're the better team, and I don't think anyone thinks they're going to win. So,
but that was probably like one of the only good games of a very boring first round. Like,
oh, the Cowboys Niners, come on.
What about
them Cowboys?
It was two. Those were the two, but like every game was like damn near boring to me until like, and then it was funny like when my team was blowing somebody out, I was like loving it. Like it wasn't boring anymore. But for the most part, I wanted to see like more close games than that. But we'll start with you guys, man. Like, what's your takeaways from that game though? Like, I mean, because you guys were right there, so.
I'll let Jeff start.
I mean, I like I said, I thought the season was an overachievement, and they did better. I mean, that game could have been uglier. That, like I said, came down to the final possession. We had a chance to tie or even win. I was like, good season based on everything that happened. I don't know about Carr. I don't know about coaching. I'm fine to move on. Obviously, I think everyone wants Flores, but
you said you don't know about Carr.
No, I've never. I mean, we've all like he's always been like a B+ at best. Like it just depends on the contract situation. I haven't looked into like the cap or whatever. Like if it makes sense to keep him, that's cool. If it makes sense to get rid of him, I'm cool with that.
I was listening to the game on the road. Y'all know I was driving cross country. First quarter, he gets the strip sack. That just put them behind. Because Josh Jacobs was running the ball effectively. And that's how the Raiders really depend on is the run game to get them downfield as well. Even though Carr had a great passing season, he didn't throw a lot of touchdowns this year. Like it's just that. And it did come down to the last play. They did play a lot better in the second half than the first half. But I mean, it was a good season. I mean, we made the playoffs. Nobody thought they would at 6-7 after the Henry Ruggs situation, after the Gruden situation. So, I mean, I'm not entirely too disappointed. I think they'll probably keep Carr on board for one more year because he's only due to make like 20 or 25 million between there, which is team friendly in a sense for a quarterback. But I mean, I want Flores, or they just fired Mayock too, so we're looking for a GM. I just want better, especially with the first round picks. Like they got to start hitting on first round picks.
All right, and we'll talk about seemed like the world was on fire, like or it was collapsing or something because that Cowboys game, man. That was
That's what we all thought. I mean, we all thought it'd be a close one. It made sense for the Cowboys. Like it was. I mean,
no, you did say that. You said like that was probably like that's the favorite pick. Everybody hates the Cowboys,
and it was like after we talked, like every show was like that was the most popular. It was so popular that people were actually starting to be scared because it was like, if it's this popular, doesn't it usually go the other way? Like even Colin Cowherd for sure was like, I was on it until it seemed like the whole world was on it. And then I got off it, but it was like the whole world was on it because the Cowboys never beat anybody. And the 49ers looked way better for most of the season.
You guys said that.
Exactly like I said. They folded just like I thought they would. They are who we thought they were. And exactly.
Oh, what do you guys think?
It was generally the least. It was the least surprising first round, like, right? Nothing surprising happened, right? I mean, the one upset was the most popular upset that we all thought was a coin flip, and everything else was like everyone took care of business.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, it seems like everybody did what they were supposed to do, except the Cowboys.
I mean,
everybody.
But everyone thought the Cowboys weren't really going to do it, though. So it was like, you know, like they were. That was already a coin flip game. But now the real playoffs start.
But what am I? Okay, so what am I missing with them though? They have all these weapons on offense and defense. Like, what is it that I'm missing? Of like, why they still like can't like get it done against a team that's supposed to be inferior, like the Niners?
Well, it's a coach's league, and they don't have a good coach. and also, like, these skill position guys and everything, but like when the Cowboys were good, they had a good line. Like, it's boring, but like Jerry spent a lot of money.
They had back when they had Shady.
I mean, yeah, Jerry spent a lot of money on guys we've heard of and stuff, but not guys we haven't heard of, like offensive linemen or stuff like that. You know, like, the 49ers got the best of them. Like I said, I don't even love like that. I don't even love the 49ers coach, but he's definitely better than the Cowboys coach. What's his name? McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy.
Oh, hey, that's another thing. 100%. Hey, Zaya, you was spot on too. You said that Shanahan was gonna eat that boy Diggs alive, and they had whole clips on Twitter of Diggs getting ate up.
Imagine if he would have made just a few more throws. It would have been even worse. Like he just bites on every double move, but it was mainly Mike McCarthy's fault that they lost that game as well. And the Cowboys didn't come to play. They started out, 23-7 in the first half. And they tried to blame the referees for the that was crazy. Like, I mean, I never even knew that rule, to be honest, until yesterday. Like, they have to touch the ball. Like, the first time was when after that fake punt, when they tried to do that or whatever. And I was like confused, like, why is the ref still standing there, like literally in the middle of this? Like, I did not understand that. And then, but it's just why and then the game is like draw at that moment in that game. You have no timeouts. You know you're trying to get downfield. You don't run a QB draw at that time. You just don't.
Yeah, I mean, like, did the ref go like a little slow? Like, yeah, sure, but like that's a weird gray area. It's like he hustled some, but it was a bad play call. No one saw it coming, and Dak ran too far. Like, he needed to get down sooner to like make that happen, and they shouldn't have been in that situation anyways.
So you think the ref was like that was a stupid play call anyway? I'm not about to press that.
No, he was probably caught up in the moment. I mean, he was behind. I mean, he got there. Like, it wasn't going to happen for him anyways. Like,
Agreed. The inadvertent whistle during the Raiders game was worse than that. Like that shit just came out.
Luckily, that didn't.
Man, that should have been a touchdown anyway. I don't want to hear that.
I agree.
That was a touchdown regardless.
I agree. But what I'm saying is that is worse than him they know he has to touch the ball. They know this. So I don't even know why the center grabbed the football in the first place. I don't understand why the QB draw was even called. Like it makes no sense.
I don't know. Maybe they really, like, in the heat of the moment, they really thought they were going to get away with that. Like, they really thought the ref was just going to let them go ahead and spike the ball. I mean, obviously, if that same scenario happens right now, I'm pretty sure he's like, dying to get to a ref.
Well, they showed other clips and stuff like of the Packers doing it. It was like Rodgers knew what to do, his linemen knew what to do, and the refs also knew what to do. But it's like, if you have that tone, if you know what you're doing, the ref probably is there too. But that center didn't know what he was doing. But back to the Raiders-Bengals thing, for sure that didn't matter because it should have been a touchdown. It was a bad call, but they already came out and said that whole crew is not reffing another game for the rest of the playoffs. They already came out.
But is it because of that, or they just not?
They were trash. They were trash on both sides.
Yeah, to like mess up that call egregiously like they did, and then do the wrong thing by the playbook. And like they messed it up. They messed it up too many ways. Like, you can't get the playbook.
It's like either way.
You can't get the rule book wrong. You can't get the rule book wrong, and they explicitly got the rule book wrong.
It's like either way you effed up. It's like, either you're dumb, you're stupid for blowing the whistle in the first place, or you're stupid for you blew the whistle and then counted the touchdown anyway when you're not supposed to. So it's like either way you messed up. Like, there's no way around it. Like,
hey JC, stop slamming your hands on the table.
Oh, my bad. On the last show, I noticed like when I did that, it was like way louder than for me. Like, thank you for reminding me of that.
But yeah, I mean, like we all said, it was going to be a touchdown anyways. But
it's like
if you're gonna go by the rule book, you have to go by the rule book.
Yeah, the right result happened, which, you know, good for the Bengals. They deserved a touchdown, but the refs screwing up twice. Like, okay, you messed up the first call, and you could have been criticized for that, but then you doubled down and made the wrong by the rule book like adjustment. And so yeah, the NFL was just like, don't worry, those guys, you won't see them again. And that makes sense. There's way more games the first week now. We got less games, less refs needed.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just tired of it always happening to the Raiders. That's all I'm tired of. It since the Tuck rule, man. I'm just tired of it, man.
Oh my God, bro. You need a couch, bro. Like, damn, you need to lay out and get to, like, you still on that, bro?
Yes,
we're never getting over the Tuck rule.
A fumble. We'll never get over it.
Never getting over the Tuck rule. No.
All right, yeah. So that was leading me to my my next question. So, do you guys think? What do you guys think of them adding the playoff team this year? Like, are you guys for it going forward, or you want to do it?
I was for it, but like the results, like we already talked about, wasn't really worth it. This, you know, it was like, I mean, the Raiders was a good game, and they were like a team on the bubble, but like no one really thinks the Bengals or the Raiders are going to do anything. So it's kind of like, and the Steelers just made the playoffs so Ben could get one more day on television or whatever. You know, it was like the results didn't work, but I'm fine with it. I like more football is good for me. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I mean, my team got a shot because of it. So, hey, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, it made us feel like we had a good season just because we took that seed, and we shouldn't have been there. And then we even, like I said, came down to one possession. That's, like I said, me and Isaiah happy with this season based on everything that went wrong for us halfway through to rebound and show that we're more than Gruden. You know, the black and silver is strong and looks good for next year.
Right. All right, so let's go to the divisional round. Bengals or Titans. Who you guys like?
Whoever wins is going to lose the next one. No, I'm picking the Titans. I see, you know, I see no reason why not to. I don't know. I'm worried. I'm actually worried like Derrick Henry's going to come back and everyone's going to just get all this momentum thinking it's going to work out and the Bengals are going to win. But I think it's kind of a coin flip, but I got the Titans. But like I said, whoever wins that one, I think we're all picking.
Even with that suspect defense?
Say what?
Even with that suspect defense they got?
Bengals defense can be suspect. You know, it's like, I mean, the Bengals don't have an offensive line or a defensive line, right? Like, so it's like, I mean, these are both flawed teams. So who knows what's gonna tip?
Yeah, that's the first thing you said. You said whoever wins is gonna lose.
Yeah, I mean most. Don't you guys feel that way? I think everyone
does.
But
but imagine. I think the Bengals is like the Cinderella story, though. It's like, you know, the rookies are, you know, able to get to the AFC Championship. Like that's damn near like a Super Bowl to them. They're like, oh yeah, imagine the future now if they can.
Yeah, that'd be big. That's big, like Burrow Chase building stuff, and definitely the Bengals should be excited about the future, no doubt. But I mean, isn't the Bills and the Chiefs on the other side? Don't we all sort of think that's the AFC Championship right there? You know, like that's it right there.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's kind of a toss up. I mean, if Henry does come back, I'll probably lean more towards the Titans. But yeah, like he said, if the Bengals end up winning, that's going to be like their Super Bowl going up against the Chiefs. I don't see them beating the Chiefs or the Bills if the Bills happen to pull off the upset against the Chiefs. But hey, we'll see.
That would be crazy though, because that's the last team the Chiefs lost to if they do make it. So they got something to, I guess, try to be confident about.
Yeah.
I think this the one right here. Like, it's like it seems like it's an overwhelming favorite, but like so what chance do you guys give the Niners if at all?
Oh, you think it's overwhelming? I mean, obviously, I think everyone thought
Packers. They had it ranked like Packers like 60-something% to win that game.
Oh, do them? That's pretty good. I mean, but I mean, the Packers are like the favorite and have been kind of all year since about halfway through, and going into the playoffs, we all thought they were the most complete team. So it makes sense. But I think a lot of people think the Niners are frisky. You know, like there's definitely history there.
Yeah, Rodgers has never beat them.
Yeah, you know, and Rodgers loves them. He wish he plays for him.
No, I think if they beat them, he's sure going over there. That's a whole nother topic.
I mean, I still think the Packers are going to lose, but I mean, 49ers definitely got a puncher's chance. But against the Cowboys, you're able to hide your quarterback play. I don't think against the Packers.
Ooh, talk about it, man. He tried to give the game away.
Yeah,
He literally took the ball out of his hands the last like 5 minutes. Like Shanahan was like, "No, bro. Like I'm sick of this shit. Like
Yeah, you
just
give
gave
those
away an
chances.
interception, and you almost gave it away. Well, I mean, not necessarily his fault, but with the Kittles thing, they almost had the fumble right there. Like he was like, "No, like we just gonna run."
Yeah, you give Aaron Rodgers those chances, he's just going to put you down. He's just going to put you down.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to see who's ruling the run game because I hear it's gonna be really cold in Green Bay for that game, as it usually is when it gets to January. So we'll see what Shanahan can do with his playbook. Maybe he can hide Jimmy G for one more game. Maybe.
I mean, he hit him last time they played. Remember
Yeah, but like we said,
for like 200 yards.
Aaron Rodgers is a different animal, just like Tom Brady. So it's like against those two guys, you give them those opportunities, we'd be having a whole different discussion about the Niners if they played Tampa last week.
And especially how like Rodgers has like perceived the media in this year against him. Like he wants to kill them bad. Like his childhood team that he hasn't beaten, he wants to put them down real bad. So
Yeah.
And that he wants to go. All right, man. My guys, man. You know, they call it. I've been seeing the Bucks heavily favored it as well.
Heavily favored?
Man, look.
By who?
Vegas opened at 4 points, and then I think
4 points isn't that much.
No, but aren't the Bucks at home?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get an automatic 3 points for being at home. So that they're thinking the Bucks are a 1 point favorite.
Or you got that. So what about ESPN with the 34% chance for us to beat the Bucks?
Only 34. Wow.
That's because of Matt Stafford.
Yeah, it's the quarterback.
This
thing.
guy, hey, he just had a damn near perfect game, and you still talking that craziness like last week?
Who's he playing against? Who's he playing against now?
I mean,
Kyler Murray versus Tom Brady. Who you got?
I mean, Stafford's not on defense, so I don't think we're talking about that.
What we're saying is y'all ain't gonna have that pick.
People pick quarterbacks. Oh, by the way, JC, the line has now moved to 3. So obviously money has been put down on your boys. So that essentially means they don't know. So Bucks have home field advantage. They get 3. That means that's almost a pick 'em. So yeah. I'm going to look at them odds when we get off here, and I'm probably going to bet on your guys. Is what I'm going to do.
I mean, it's still always fuck Tom Brady for me. So I'll still bet on the Rams, but do I trust Stafford? No, I still don't trust him, bro. Sorry.
I'm gonna bet on the Rams, and I just think they're gonna win. Like obviously, I'm betting on them because I like the odds, but I don't know. The odds, like I said, kind of moved to where it's pretty even. But
Isaiah, what do you have to where it's like you don't trust Stafford? Like he hasn't really had an opportunity like this in his career.
Well, why would he trust him? Why would he trust him if he's never shown it? Like you just answered your own question.
No, but he's like going out of his way. Like, oh, I don't trust that. I haven't heard you say that about any other quarterback in the playoffs yet. And there's far more suspect people who have shown that they can't get it done. But you on this Stafford thing, who's been on like the worst organization in NFL history.
Okay, let me start. First, don't trust Jimmy G. Didn't trust Derek Carr really. Didn't trust Joe Burrow. Don't trust Ryan Tannehill.
You didn't vocalize none of that.
I mean, I thought I vocalized in the last video. I said
it was the wild card round.
I say it's a toss up. That means I really don't trust them that much. I have to trust Tom Brady. He's done this 6-7 times now. I trust Rodgers, but against the 49ers, it's a toss up because, as we said, he hasn't beaten that team for whatever reason. Bro, I'm sorry. I just do not trust Stafford. He's going to have to keep on proving to me week in and week out, here come at the playoffs, that he's that guy, that he's that boy.
So if he wins this week, what does that change anything?
It depends how, man. Like if Sean McVay draws up and they run for 300 yards and Stafford doesn't do much, it's
That
like, look,
McVay is way too pass happy for that. You know that's not happening.
Well, again, if it just depends. If Stafford looks good, then he looks good. If he looks bad, he looks bad. Win or lose, I mean, it should be a close game. If they get blown out and he looks good, then I don't really care. But if it's a close game and he looks good, then he looks good. But yeah, he's playing against Tom Brady. It's tough.
Yeah, so for me, like right now, I got probably like 30% confidence in him right now. Like, because that game last week, or what was that, last night? Well, Monday, excuse me, was a shit show for the Cardinals. Like that was just ugly football all around. And
what, JC, what is he? Is he the third worst quarterback left in the playoffs, would you say, I guess?
Third worst quarterback? Hell no.
Or maybe fourth.
Hold on. Who's it? He's not better than Mahomes.
You got Brady. You got Rodgers. You got Mahomes.
Josh Allen. Josh Allen's definitely better.
Josh Allen is better than
I would argue that. But yeah, no. That's definitely not bottom.
You couldn't argue that.
Definitely not bottom three.
So you want to talk about how people played on Sunday? Let's talk about how Josh Allen played on Sunday.
Versus Matt Stafford.
I think that high pick like just set like it. I think it F Mac Jones up for the rest of the night, and then that's what like led to the rest of the catastrophe. Because that was a good pass. I don't care what y'all talking about. That was a great pass. High just made an incredible play.
Regardless, the Patriots defense is supposed to be solid, and Josh Allen tore them up.
They got blown out. Like
third worst quarterback left. Come on, bro.
That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, the Bills didn't have to punt at all during the game, correct?
Nah.
Josh Allen threw
for turnovers, no punts. Yeah, I think they said it was like one of the first in NFL history, right?
I think it was like, yeah, teams never turned it over, never punted, whatever it was. Like that was Josh Allen running that team against a famous defensive coach. So I mean, Josh Allen's better than Matt Stafford.
All right, well, let's talk about
your boy ain't top four. Your boy
ain't
top four. He's probably not top five.
What's up with him on Sunday, man? What he looking like? That's the last. I think that's the last game too. Yeah, that's the last game.
Oh yeah. So what we pick already? We did the Titans and the Bengals, which we didn't care about. The Packers, Niners, which were leading Packers. Rams and Bucks is supposed to be a close one, and now, I mean, I picked the Chiefs to go, so I'm still on the Chiefs, but I'm not gonna be surprised if the Bills win. I like the Bills too.
You said you wouldn't be surprised?
No. Either one of those teams going to the Super Bowl was not a surprise to me.
I'd be surprised. Like for the last few years, I'm not gonna lie. Like when they're fully healthy, I'm surprised that anybody beat the Chiefs.
I mean, that's why I picked them. I still
like the last time the Bills played the Chiefs. Like I don't know if they learned from whatever went wrong last time, but I mean they started the game off great, and then the Chiefs turned into the Chiefs, and it's like they looked amateur out there. Like they didn't have a chance in hell. I know what they did this regular season, but I'm going off their last playoff game. It just looked like they were miles ahead of them. And I mean, what has really? I mean, other than Allen probably being the smarter QB now to get done, but like,
well, the whole team is. I mean, like you said, the Bills have gone up and the Chiefs have gone down. So let's see them in the playoffs.
The Chiefs have gone down because they lost the Super Bowl game.
Because have you not watched them all year? They haven't played as good as they played last year.
Mahomes they started 2-4 and then they went crazy the rest of the year.
Went crazy. They just lost a couple weeks ago. Towards the end, they should have had a higher seed.
When was the last time they lost before that?
They let the Titans win the conference. Okay, so you got whatever you say. The Chiefs.
That means they had such a trash start that they had an incredible rest of the season, and that still came back to bite them because
no matter how you slice it, they are worse than they were the previous 2 years by all measurements, and the Bills are better. So let's see them go at it.
Do the Bills even have White this weekend or no?
I have no idea. I haven't checked on injuries for either team. I just know they got their quarterbacks.
I mean, no, I think that's what matters.
I mean, it
Troy White is still on injury reserve. He's still on injury reserve. But, I mean, this Chiefs team is not the same as a couple past Chiefs teams. Like, are they still good? Heck yeah, they're still good. But they are not as dominant as they were the past 2 years.
Yeah, they lost like 5 or 6 games. I mean,
Was it 5 games? Don't try to add games.
again, that being said, I'm still picking the Chiefs, but I'm acknowledging that I'm not just saying, oh, the last time they met in the playoffs, it was one way, because it's like, well, it'd be fair if they both just did the same thing this year and they both look the same. But the fact of the matter is, since that game, the Bills have looked better, the Chiefs have looked worse. So it is kind of like, okay, let's see.
Like, I think the thing with the Bills is like I think their defense is gonna make the difference, because any team trying to have a shootout with the Chiefs, you're probably not gonna win that battle. And it seems like that's the type of game like it's gonna be a shootout.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. Like, all those teams have been doing that same defense the Bucs did against Mahomes, like trying to make him, no more home run plays. You got to dink and dump. And I mean, if he just puts his Tom Brady hat on and does short passes, it seems like he should carve up anyone with the weapons the Chiefs have. But, the Bills could get it done. But like I said, I'm picking the Chiefs.
I mean, the Bills got it done earlier in the season, 38-20. It's definitely possible. Like you said, they got to play good defense. You can't let them get a whole lot of home run plays, make them use up the clock. They got to use up the clock, and you got to score every possession. Like, whether it's mainly touchdowns, but any way you can get points on the board against the Chiefs, you got to take them, because it's going to be bad if you don't. And that's speaking from experience as a Raiders fan. I mean, it's insane, because last year we got them once and we almost had
y'all almost got them twice. I think I remember.
And this year we had the worst blowout in Raiders Chiefs history by the Chiefs. So you got to control the clock. You got to score. That's the name of the game to beat the Chiefs.
All right. So we got our picks in. Let's go to some NBA talk.
Hold on. Before we do, I just want to make sure. Did we disagree on anything? Like, well, I mean,
yeah, I think the only reason why y'all talking betting on the Rams is because we're underdogs, and not because you really believe it. So,
no, I was gonna go both. That's the reason I want to bet on the Rams, is because I think it's a toss up, and now the betting has kind of adjusted to where it kind of is a toss up. But the fact that you can still get a little extra money on them, I just like them. I've been wanting to bet against the Bucs just because they lost a lot of players and they're not as hungry. They just won last year. Like, so many of those guys aren't going to have that desperation that that Rams team is hungry. They are starving, man. I'm going to go with them.
Brady for 2018, 2019. I want that would be beautiful. Like, ideally, I want to see us get the Niners in the NFC Championship, because they beat us 6 in a row. I want to settle that once and for all. And I was hella disrespected by how they treated me when I was at SoFi Stadium a couple weeks ago. But ideally, I want to see the Niners in the NFC Championship, and obviously I would rather see the Niners than the Packers. Obviously. So,
yeah, you don't want to see Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, ideally that's.
It could get
I think that would make it so much sweeter to go through Brady and then get this Niners monkey off our back for the confidence that might give us. Like, okay, we finally, like, whatever it was about these dudes, we finally, like, got that monkey off our back. So, it's like, let's go get a Super Bowl.
But Ant, did you actually pick the Rams? Or did you lean Bucs? I couldn't remember.
I'm picking the Rams. Fuck Tom Brady.
So yeah, we're all, and we all ultimately picked the Chiefs too, even though I think the Bills have a fighting chance. We all picked the same shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, not really.
I believe that defense.
You what? What'd you say, JC?
I said, not really. I want the Niners.
Well, you want the Niners, but you don't think.
You're right. There is a difference. There's definitely a difference.
I think everyone would rather play against Garoppolo than Aaron Rodgers. That's a smart fandom.
But no, it is a personal thing to me though. I have Niner fans that blow my phone up every time we play them for the last 3 years. Every single time they blow my phone up. I lost money when we went. I had Niner fans all in my ear. Like that's personal. You know what I'm saying? I would love to get revenge on the Packers too, because they beat us last year. So I mean, either or, it'll be a sweet victory. But like the Niners thing, that's personal at this point.
Yeah, you are the Clippers of the NFL, and you want to take on your Lakers.
You hear this guy?
You are. I'm not the only one that said that. No, come on. It's the Rams. You know, you've even said yourself. Los Angeles is Raiders. Anywhere else is Niners.
No, I'll say the Chargers are the Clippers of the NFL. I'll say the Chargers are the Clippers of the NFL.
Yeah, like if anything, nobody wanted them here.
They just don't even have but they at least had San Diego. You know, they at least had that, but now they don't have anything.
Hey man,
We really don't.
Back, man. If I got to be the leader of the new school, I'll take it on.
All right, I guess that's the NFL. We all think we already made our Final Four picks. So
Yeah.
NBA.
And to be fair, I like the Titans over the Bengals, but I do love the Cinderella story. So I mean, I wouldn't mind if the Bengals.
I mean, the Bengals could get it done, but it's the Titans have more experience. They're slightly better.
I don't know about that Tannehill stuff though. He hasn't been doing good. With the I don't know if it's his fault with Julio or if it's Julio's just hurt. I don't know what's going on there. But they're not, for whatever reason, they're not clicking. So you got that right there.
Just no one cares about that matchup because like every matchup we think one of the teams could win the Super Bowl except that matchup. You know, it's like no one's betting on the like. Like literally every other portion is like, ooh, they could win except these two.
Yeah, there's really nobody outside of Cincinnati and Nashville who believes that those teams could win the Super Bowl right now.
And most people in Cincinnati and Nashville are both just happy that they're.
Oh no, for sure. They far overachieved even when they got number one in the division. Like that was,
Yeah. All right, well, we got basketball
right there. Then they got to win on top of that. Like yeah, they're good. All right. Like I said, we never since we haven't talked about it yet. Ben Simmons. So let's start from the beginning. So he played like trash, like I've been saying he's been doing for years, but I guess everybody finally realized it this year. But he played like trash. He got caught out by his coach and some of his teammates, and he decided to cry all summer and pout and say, "I'm not coming back, and y'all need to trade me, figure it out. I'm not even gonna come back to up my trade value, nothing. Like I'm done with that." So,
he really said that? Like I because I was driving Sunday, so
I mean he did make the comment of it's not my job to up my trade value. He did make that comment when they talked about Sixers when Philly officially said we want you to come back. Him and Rich Paul's response was like, that's not his job to up his trade value, figure it out. Like,
well, it is his job to play basketball, and that's why he stopped getting checks because he's completely healthy, refusing to play basketball. This is all I'm weird because I've been on Maury's side on this in general. I've always said when everyone was trying to rush to trade in the summer, I'm like, his value's never been lower. And the way his contract is, they have him for 4 more years.
Yeah, I think I talked to you about it. You did say that.
I was like, I would wait a year. Like if they don't get anything going, like before the deadline, they still have the summer and around draft time. But if they don't settle by draft, then at that point in July, I'm settling for whatever. But to me, it was always worth it to wait a year because you have him locked up. Like, and this is all Doc Rivers' fault. Doc was an idiot. Like, we knew Embiid was going to throw him under the bus because Embiid's expressive and that's how it's always been. But Doc is a grown man, has been in this league a long time. When he went to the media and said that stuff, that killed Daryl Morey. Like, it just killed him. It was like, now I can't trade him because you guys just threw him under the bus and now he won't want to come back. Like, that could have been if they would have been supportive of the guy on their team when they're still in a playoff series, if they'd have been a supportive of their guy, if they would have been supportive of him, then they wouldn't like.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying he would have more value because
not only that, he would have come back. Like the reason he's not coming back is because what they did to him publicly. Like both the biggest names in the organization. When Doc did it, because I was watching it live when he said that, I was like just so shocked. Because again, Embiid doesn't surprise me because he's always been like emotional and he had to vent. But Doc is a grown man. Like you had to save that, and he screwed Daryl Morey. So everyone always is like, "Oh, Daryl needs to just trade him." I'm like, I understand why he wouldn't. He's pissed that the coach tanked his value for.
I cannot recall seeing a team having so much leverage on a player asking. My bad. I've never seen a team have so much leverage on trading a player. Like since I can recall really being into hoops, like a player of his caliber asking for a trade, but the team like literally has all the leverage in the world. Like he's not gonna be a free agent no time soon. So they could literally like let him rot for 2-3 years if they want to, if he really wants to keep acting like that. Like, and honestly, I'm with them. I'm like, I feel like, yeah, Doc was wrong, but I mean, really, like this is how you handle that. Like, like go work hard, get that, prove them wrong. Like you're in Philly, bro.
It's real stubborn and hardball stuff, but also like Rich Paul is the one running that, and they're smart enough to know that hopefully they learn the lesson from like Carmelo trades. Like you said, Ben Simmons said, it's not my job to up his trade value. Like think about it, when you're a player, you want your trade value to be at all-time low, because if you're super valuable, the team you're going to is going to get gutted the way the Knicks got gutted, like when Melo went there. Like that's why Vince Carter was big brain when he started tanking in Toronto, and they traded him for nothing so he could go play with Jason Kidd instead of trading him for Jason Kidd. So it makes sense that Ben doesn't want his trade value to be better, because if you make your trade value better, whoever you're going to, you're making them worse inherently. So if you know you're moving on, it makes sense for him to sit out, but it makes sense for Philly. Like I said, if I was Philly, it was worth it for me to at least lose a year to just see, because the problem was this summer when everyone wanted to trade him, all these teams have hope. You have to wait till the season goes bad. Like look at the Pacers now. They're shopping guys. Like in the summer, it was like no one wanted to trade because they're like, everyone's happy about their own draft and like our team's going to be good. Then the season starts and you start losing games and you're like, okay, maybe Ben Simmons sounds good now. So that's why I always said you had to go at least 1 year when everyone was trying to get him to trade him for like CJ McCollum in the summer. And I was just like, look, it makes sense to not. His value's never been lower, and you have him for 4 more years. You could at least swallow one of those years. That's why I'm still just like, I would wait the whole year. If you don't get what you want, then you got to settle in July, because you got to help Embiid at a certain point.
And I mean, they clearly made their choice on who their franchise guy is. So it's like, that's why they're willing to move along like this, and it doesn't.
Yeah, I think that was settled as soon as Embiid played his first month. It was like, oh, this guy's different,
right?
Yeah, right. It was settled as soon as Embiid stepped on the court. But like he said, I mean, I expected that from Embiid, but for Doc Rivers to say some shit like that on live television, like I was just shocked. I was like, oh yeah, you fucked up bad. Like the whole world may have been thinking it, but for the head coach to say that, it's like, bro, it's just, you can't.
We weren't thinking it, we were saying it, but he ain't supposed to say it.
Yeah, exactly, like 100%. So if I'm Ben, fuck y'all. Like, what am I coming back for? Like he said, I don't want the team I'm going to be fucking trash or whatever. So fuck y'all.
Well, and also like they all hate. It's like they all hate. Like you guys all told everyone you hate me. It's embarrassing publicly for them. Like I said, even if they kept it private, they could all save face and be like, it was just, we're all being professionals. But it's like when Doc crossed the level of unprofessionalism that he did, then Ben Simmons is like, well, all right, like, why am I ever going to help you guys again? The way you guys just like threw me under the bus so blatantly. Like,
but at what point do you take accountability? This is not like, I know it became like a trend this summer, but this is not new. I remember like 3 or 4 years ago, he had a game against the Boston Celtics where I think he scored like 1 point, if I'm not mistaken. It was something. Yeah,
I mean,
like that.
You're talking about basketball.
They've been riding behind him. So at what point do you take accountability?
We all agree those are basketball issues. Everyone has valid criticism of Ben Simmons as a basketball player. We all talked about that. Not aggressive in the fourth. Like there was clear basketball problems. The problem they're having is not basketball. The problem they're having is personal, because they want Ben Simmons to up his trade value, and he doesn't want to do that. So they're at like a standstill. Yeah, Ben Simmons is all overrated, but he's probably gonna help whoever he ends up going to. Like he's probably gonna have some revenge in him. Like
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Ben Simmons can still defend very well. He can handle the ball in the open floor. He's quick, so and he can get to the basket. He just won't shoot the fucking basketball. That's really the only flaw in his game. So for him and Embiid to play together, it's too difficult, because Embiid likes to start down low. He might venture out to the wing or the 3-point line a little bit, but for him to be shooting like 5 or 6 threes a game, that's not ideal for Embiid's play. So they should have never. I knew it wasn't going to work out. Like I just knew it wasn't going to work out unless he was going to shoot the basketball. But we saw this during the summer, that he was visibly pissed off at workouts. He was visibly pissed off at practice. He wasn't with his team. So not here we are. I mean, I was surprised that he came out and finally said that he's not coming back. But I mean, I expected that eventually this would happen.
Have we ever seen a player say, I'm not coming back because I got criticized too hard on my game? Usually it's like,
I mean, it's unique. It's unique in all the ways. You know, I mean, for one, like back in, like, if you go anything in the 20th century, the players had just like no power. Like if there's no way you could sit out back then, like, especially with the money, they're not nearly as rich like back then, you know, like, so it's already like, you could only talk about the last 20 years of something even being able to happen like this, but no, it hasn't, like, because it was the unique thing where it was like, they gave him a big extension. And then the year after, they basically had a breakup, but the weirdness of like them throwing him under the bus, like what coach has ever thrown a star player under the bus? Like coaches don't do that.
He ain't a star player.
He's still
pay him like one, number one pick, and you pay him like
a bomb.
He's a bomb. All-star.
He was second in the year in defensive player of the year last year.
But look, on a serious tip though, Dubre, like, not to be a conspiracy guy or nothing like that, but I honestly think the NBA is involved as far as like telling Philly to stick to their guns, because like you say, of like in the past, you know, it's a lot of unique things about this situation. But I think if Simmons gets what he wants and ends up going to like a team that's great for him and ends up moving on and having success, I think it does kind of set a dangerous precedent of like, damn, so it doesn't matter how many years he got left. Like, these players can just basically do whatever they want or ask for this whenever they want. Like, I think they kind of already don't like, you know, what happened with the Harden situation, but I think the NBA is involved a little bit as far as like standing behind Philly of like, yeah, like, you know, stick to your guns with that. Find him, whatever you got to do, play hardball with him. Like, you know,
I definitely don't think the league dislikes it, but I just think that was straight up just Daryl Morey he always gets value out of trades, and it was just as simple as like, he was real weird about their relationship publicly. I think he just wanted to have one season where he saw them together. And then on his first season, they did this weird breakup. He was like, well, I was probably going to trade him when his value was high. And now you guys have, my own coach and my own star, have just like killed this guy's trade value. I was like, I don't want to trade him right now. Like,
yeah, I know they are regretting I mean, it wasn't really their fault, but I know they regret like that Harden Simmons trade not going through like it was supposed
to. Well, they wanted it. Remember, it was the Houston owner just screwed him because the Houston owner did not want Daryl Morey to have success.
Yeah, it was like this close to happening though. Like, Philly agreed to it, and then but once Philly agreed to it, they called Brooklyn back like, hey, like, you know, like he's about to get traded. Like, so this like last chance, like, you know, what do you guys want to do? And that was when it ended up happening. But he was like literally this close from it being like a Harden Simmons swap. And man, I don't know. I would have liked that dynamic better for parity. You know, like, yeah,
I think there's rumors starting like this week. It's all been like, hey, you know, Harden might not stay with the Nets long term, and there's been the rumors.
Is he a free agent this summer?
I don't know if it's this summer.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a summer, but he's not under contract for the longest time, but it's still just, but you know, like you already said, like if a player wants to move now, it's like Russell Westbrook hasn't been a free agent in years, and he moves every summer.
You know, 4 or 5 different teams.
Yeah, he just says, hey, I'd like to not play here anymore. Let's go.
Harden will be a free agent in the 2023 offseason. Is
there any sort of opt-out or anything like that, or is it just pure? So he's got one more year after this one. Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah.
So that would explain why the talks are heating up.
Yeah, because is Brooklyn going to give him all the money in the world?
It is a player option. It's a player option
for this year.
Yeah, but he's due to make $47 million next year. I mean,
but he's going to be that regardless.
Well, that gives him leverage. So, but that means he could be like, trade me and I'll pick up the option, or trade me and I'll decline it, and we can get a new contract. He'll probably decline it actually to get like a big $200 million deal. Would make sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like a player like of that caliber, they don't have to worry about stuff like that, where they have to like, I'm gonna opt in because I'm not gonna get this nowhere else. Like Harden's not gonna have to worry about it.
Yeah, true. This is very true.
It's actually better opt out because
exactly.
You get the guaranteed money.
The benefits you opt out. All right, so you brought up Indiana. Like, you think they should blow it up, or you know, I mean,
sure, why not?
They're trying to get rid of Miles Turner, but I mean, does Miles Turner really like move the needle for anybody, or like?
I think he could for some teams, but it's the whole thing is we don't know. I don't know. I have no idea how much the Pacers value him, but it's been a weird thing with him for years. Is always like he's always been like good, but not great. And they've always like never been that committed to him. And
Right.
then we kind of thought that him and Sabonis
Yeah,
don't
both
fit.
of their, it seems like both of their bigs are in trade rumors like every year. Pretty good.
Well, because Sabonis hasn't been. Turner was always the guy because people just assumed that he didn't fit with Sabonis, and Sabonis was the second one they got, and he was an all-star. Turner's never made an all-star team, so now I just think this is different because now they're I think everyone's available. They're just like, we're not good. Let's just we need to sell these guys because Brogdon's got a contract.
Sabonis has a contract. I don't know why it's not clicking with them. Like I like that construct. Like when they got LeVert, like.
But he's been hurt. That's the thing, is their wingmen have been like TJ Warren's been hurt. I think if they were healthy, they'd probably be like real frisky in the playoffs. But I mean, we know Sabonis has been there, but like all their wings have been out. Like, I mean, like you brought LeVert, he's missed a bunch of time. And so did and I don't think TJ Warren's played. Remember TJ Warren in the bubble?
Yeah, he hasn't played. I don't think he played last year, and he hasn't played this year. But.
Yeah, so
I just really been hurt. Yeah, it's been like has Brogdon even been playing that many games too?
Brogdon, he's been on and off.
And of course,
he plays great, but
new coach. Everyone's criticizing Carlisle too. That
I mean,
I don't know.
They've been hurt. They might just have to go ahead.
Carlisle been hiding for Cuban all that time. He probably should have.
Yeah, I mean, I love Rick Carlisle. I personally love Rick Carlisle, but the guy hasn't won a playoff series in a decade. Like I think the last playoff series they won was when they went to the championship.
It's been that long?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure well, for one, Dallas only made the playoffs a few more times after that. And I'm pretty sure they were like first round losses, like to the Spurs was definitely one. And then, yeah, after that, they just stopped making the playoffs. And then it's been the Luka years. And then him and Luka didn't exactly click. And now he's in Indiana.
You know what, though? I think 2011 bought him another 10 years.
But it's only you think it bought him 20. It already bought him 10. Do you think it bought him 20? Again, I like Rick Carlisle. I've always thought he was good, but it is.
Well, he got there after the 06 year, right? After when Avery Johnson was there in 06.
07. Avery had to choke in the first round the next year, and then Carlisle.
So who went to the final? What that was Avery Johnson, wasn't it?
No, well, yes, Avery did. But I'm saying Avery stayed another year and then got bounced in the first round in 2007 against the Warriors. And then they were like, all right, Avery, we got to move on. And then Carlisle came in and, in a couple of years they won. And then he never won a playoff series ever again. And it's been over 10 years now. This will be the 12th year of Carlisle not winning a playoff series, but a lot of respect. He did win.
He got that one out the way. That's probably why Cuban was like, it is. Like, cause he's been in a league of the the super team era taking off, and he never really had a team that at the start of the season we legitimately were like, oh yeah, like those Mavericks. Even the year they won, like I don't know if you remember, but they were like an underdog in like every playoff series that year. Like so they had a
in 2011, I think in 2011, I think I was like, it was like more wide open because of what happened. I was like, I kind of think 8 teams could win the championship. The Mavs were like the 8th team, like they were not the favorite of the contenders. They were just like, they got a shot because Dirk's still good and like the team fits, Tyson Chandler and all that, but yeah, I mean, that was an unexpected run and thankfully they got it. But yeah, who knows? I mean, I know there's already been Carlisle butts heads with a lot of guys. Like him and Rondo didn't get along. Him and Luka didn't get along. Like he's had a weird relationship with some guys over the years. So it's like, I don't know what the deal is with him and Sabonis.
Yeah, so him and I mean, obviously I don't know how true it is, but like that was crazy to me to hear that him and Luka weren't like really on the same page. Like,
well, I think a lot of that, if you dig into it, had like stuff to do with analytics. Carlisle started listening to Haralabob Vulgaris, who's like a famous NBA gambler. He was in the early 2000s, and then he got hired as an analytics guy by the Mavs. And so he would have like lineup suggestions, and Luka felt like all Carlisle was starting to do was listen to the numbers guy, and Luka wanted other stuff. And just, it was a weird whole power struggle.
Hey,
I think the whole Mavs, the Mavs organization is kind of underratedly toxic. They're trying to clean it up some, but like, it was a little bit of a frat house over there, I think. And yeah, we'll see. Luka's a hothead too. We'll see how that goes.
All right, Isaiah, I got a question for you, bro. Some Laker business, man. You hear about Vogel apparently on the hot seat right now?
Yeah, I've heard talks about it. But I mean, I just don't feel like it's wholly on him because Look at the team you provided him with. I knew from the get-go this shit wasn't gonna work. They don't have any defenders. AD's been hurt. I mean, it's a shit show over there. So I mean, it's not really all solely on him. Like, I just don't.
This is why I don't know if you remember, but because we had kind of went back and forth when I had a post like a year or two ago when the Lakers were like, I think it was before the bubble and everything, and the Lakers were like rolling, and I was like, man, like we need to give Vogel credit because if he wasn't doing this good, like you guys would be like chilling him. Like I know how Laker fans are. Like we're ridiculous, bro. Like we will murder you over like, you know what I'm saying? Like it could be 2-3 game stretch and like we go hard. So like when Vogel was actually doing this thing, I was like, man, like we need to credit this because to me, that Laker roster was not like championship, like over, like we weren't like, I didn't think we were the most talented team in the NBA. Like, no, realistically, like, I did not think we were the most talented team in the NBA. Like,
absolutely no other team had 2 top 5 players in the league. Your problem is that AD stopped being a top 5 player in the league. That's your problem.
Well, I mean, yeah, you have 2 top 5 players in the league, but there was still like a whole bunch of like other question marks. Like our team wasn't young at that time either.
That's like Shaq and Kobe.
I believe.
Once you got 2 of the top 5 that are complementary.
Let me ask you something. Top to bottom, you thought that Laker team was like talent-wise better than that Clipper team that year?
They were equivalent to them at the very least.
Hey, who was the? Yeah, of course, yeah.
There was no doubt in my mind.
They had the bigs, man. The Clippers were still playing. What's his name? Like you guys had the bigs that they didn't have. Like Dwight Howard was solid. Like Dwight Howard as a backup at that point. Like, yeah, you guys had the front court, man. The front court in the playoffs is serious business. Of course, you guys did, and of course, you know Rondo shoots good in the bubble. Apparently, that helped a lot too.
There was no doubt.
Rondo's that's my second favorite point guard ever behind Magic. But at that point, I did not expect him to turn it up like that. Like they were saying, playoff Rondo was dead like the last 3 or 4 years. So I'm like, man, like that's what we're pretty much dependent on. So he turned it up a notch that I didn't expect. So you know, I think that also helped a lot. Players like him and Dwight doing better than they've done. Like also Dwight, that was another question mark. That was the first time where Dwight looked in the mirror and was like, oh, you know what? Like, I'm not the same guy anymore. I'm willing to, you know, just come in and whatever minutes you guys need, I'll give you that. Like, that was the first time I've seen him humble himself in his career. And that also helped. So there was variables that took place that changed the perspective of that season. But just looking at that roster at the top of it, that to me, that did not scream like, oh, like, you know, we're like the heavy favorites to win the championship. I didn't see that.
It did for me because you Laker fans are delusional. You guys had the most talent. I don't like you even brought up the Clippers. It's like, okay, is anyone the Clippers better than LeBron at that time? No. Okay.
You could argue Kawhi. You could argue Kawhi
better than LeBron.
At that time when he was fresh off that Toronto championship.
LeBron James.
Man, okay, at that time,
okay, JC, I'll give you that.
We're not talking.
Let's pretend. Okay, let's pretend that Kawhi and LeBron are equals. Then you got AD at that time. That AD, and then Paul George. Like, come on, you know, like the Clippers are playing Zubac. You know,
exactly. You talking like
about if Dwight Howard played for the Clippers, he would have started. You know, like
exactly. You talking about Kawhi winning them a championship? How much were we dogging Paul George about his performances in OKC against the Trail Blazers and the Utah Jazz and stuff like that? So I'm sorry, but neither.
But that's Paul George. That's Paul George as like supposed to be the guy versus you being like the Robin to the Batman. We thought maybe that would be a different Paul George. The Pippen to the Jordan, like, you know, like that's how I looked at it. Like, no, PG can't like be the best.
There was no one.
He could probably be the second best player.
Everyone was picking the Lakers in every single series they played. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. They were
especially that year.
They were the favorites for sure.
No, Clippers were for sure the favorite that year. Like Vegas and everything, Clippers were the favorite.
No, they were.
You're not gonna rewrite history, dude, Ray. The Clippers
think
were
you
the
are.
favorite.
Not rewriting history.
You're
It was
rewriting
very comfortably the Lakers were the favorite that year.
When that
Like,
opened,
They
all right,
were.
I'm gonna look it up. I'll send it to both you guys' invite. I'm gonna look it up back at that time of who was the favorite at the top of the season. We're gonna find articles and all
Okay,
that.
you
The
got my
Clippers were
number.
for
You
sure
got my.
the favorite from when I remember.
You got my math. You got all that. You
Well,
got
I'll
my
say
email.
even
Send it over.
even if you're right, which maybe you just said at the top of the season. Who cares at the top of the season? What was it going into the playoffs? Going into the playoffs, it was the Lakers, overwhelming the Lakers because they were like, oh, LeBron's not.
Overwhelming the Lakers?
Yes, because everyone was worried. Remember, LeBron was hurt the previous year. They were like, oh, maybe he doesn't have it. AD's never done it. And then they saw them together, and then we're like, okay, never mind. It's the Lakers.
Exactly. And just like at the top of the season of last year, who was the Nets were the favorite, and look who won. The Bucks. The Bucks beat the Nets. So none of that top of the season shit matters. This is about when the playoffs start.
You're talking about when injuries kick in. I'm saying clearly the top of the season is going off a fully healthy roster. And Clippers didn't have injuries. They just had a typical, flipper collapse. Like,
yeah, I mean,
they did what they do.
I mean, they were so concerned about beating the Lakers, and it came to bite them in the ass.
Ooh, preach.
So I just looked at. I couldn't find the preseason, but before the playoffs, the Lakers were the favorites. It was the Lakers, then the Bucks, and then the Clippers. So
I don't know. Maybe because there was no fans. They said LeBron plays better in an environment like that.
I think it was just they had seen a season of LeBron and AD playing together, and the Lakers, they seen Dwight Howard, who was buying in, and they had gotten Rondo, and it was just the team made sense. It fit together. You had 3-and-D guys, Caruso and KCP. I'm glad you guys got rid of him.
Please stop.
Real glad.
Man,
Glad you guys got rid of him.
That was another thing that happened. KCP was playing like a bum all year, and then the playoffs came. Man, he turned it up. Like,
he was your third best
a
player.
lot of things went right that I didn't foresee coming, like during the regular season.
KCP was your third best player in the finals.
Easy. But he was the third worst during the regular season.
That don't matter. That don't matter.
All that matters is they got there.
He always defended, and that's what they needed. And look at him now. Look like shit without him.
Hey, man, the legendary Hall of Fame, man, Chandler Parsons is retired. Just announced it yesterday.
Strip Club Hall of Famer. Hall of Fame strip club attendee.
Hall of Fame finesser, man.
I'll always remember when he... Do you remember when he signed that contract in a strip club with Mark Cuban at midnight with the Mavs? That was a legendary moment that did not work.
I did not know that he signed a contract in the strip club.
No, it was like there was a video. It's a great video. It's like at 12:01, Mark Cuban's handing him a contract. Yeah, it was the good old days, man.
Was that who gave him the $94 million, or was that Memphis?
I think Dallas was the first one to give him 60, and then Memphis got him after he was hurt.
Ooh, that's a cold finesse, boy.
Yeah.
Ooh. Now I ain't gonna lie. When Parsons came in, I did kind of like him. He was on Houston.
He was good. He was an athletic wing. He could shoot threes. He could pass a little. He just got hurt. He blew out that knee like twice. And certain guys, it's like they're only athletic at this level, and it's like once they lose a little bit, it just the rest of the game doesn't work. And I don't think he was much of a gym rat either. I think he enjoyed being a good looking rich guy.
I remember him and Steven Jackson got into it about that. When they had their back and forth on IG, and he was like, "Nah, like you're not my brother because he's talking about like it's a brotherhood and we got to stick together." And Steven Jackson was like, "Nah, because you don't have like that, you know what I'm saying, like that work ethic. Like you clearly just care about everything you just mentioned, like the perks and tangibles to making all this money for pretty much not doing anything, or at least not like living up to what you were supposed to do based on what you.
I love Steven Jackson, but that's just jealousy. He's jealous that he didn't get paid like Chandler Parsons got paid because he just talks a lot. Captain Jack talks a lot of shit.
I don't blame him though.
No, here's what I remember: Captain Jack firing his agent because he turned down the Spurs. The Spurs offered him like it was way back in the day, so the contract's way lower, but it was like 3 years, $9 million or $12 million. Yeah, but no, he turned that down and then went to Atlanta for 1 year, $2 million. Because Well, he didn't know. His agent told him he could do better, and then he went to the free agent market and he did not do better.
I thought Pop. Or was this a different time on the Spurs? Because I think Pop was the one that told him like we're good on you or something like that.
Well, that was more at the end of his career. At the end of his
career,
the
second time, right? It wasn't
basically Jackson was saying I should be playing over Ginobili, and Popovich was like, "You can't play on this team unless you tell me right now that you shouldn't be playing over Ginobili because you have to be honest with yourself." And Jack was like, "I'm a competitor, man. I should be playing over him." He was like, "All right, we'll see."
He said Ginobili and Danny Green.
Yeah, and he was wrong on both accounts.
Yeah, he was like, and he said you have to go in there and tell them that they're better than you. And he was like, but he said he thinks Pop, that was like a setup because he said Pop knows he wasn't going to do that. So
yeah, I think Pop was the writing was on the wall. Like they had gotten as much as they could out of Jack, and Jack is just
you guys got one championship, two championships. How many did you get to you guys?
They only won because he left the year after. Like that's when he went to Atlanta. But so, I mean, he was a big deal in that 2003 playoff run. They needed every bit of it. Right. Beating your Lakers, beating Shaq and Kobe with a bunch of bums.
What happened the following year?
Shut up.
You guys signed 2 Hall of Famers. Gary Payton. You signed Gary Payton and
0.4.
And then you lost 4.
Let it haunt you in your dreams. Let it haunt you in your dreams.
Then you got stomped out by Kobe Bryant. Had an awful finals and just.
Hey man, that was some personal stuff going on. Kobe was trying to prove a point. And
that's real cool time to prove a point.
I'm just looking at
he made up for it. I'm cool. We still got 2 of them after that. So he made up for it.
That's real Mamba mentality is proving a point in the final.
Hey, Mamba mentality. He got the best of them Spurs. I know that. The Spurs.
He did. Never did. Never liked him. Pop hated playing.
I bet you didn't. I bet you didn't.
It's the worst.
So we just talked about the Clippers, man. Like you guys didn't believe in them when they were favorites, so I assume you guys like have no faith that they figured this whatever's going on with them out, right? Like they pretty much wasted all the draft picks. They're done. Like
no, I mean, what do you mean? They you can't judge the Clippers until their best player plays. I mean, we don't know if Kawhi is going to play this year. What's to talk about the Clippers until next year, or if Kawhi comes back this year? There's all the rumors that he might be back this year, but who knows if they'll even be in the playoffs,
Yeah, they've been entirely too hurt. George has been hurt. Kawhi.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't Kawhi have a player option this year?
Yeah. I don't think
I'll check it.
I thought he settled that this summer, but either way, no one's talking like he's leaving. Like he's not even like.
You just never know with that dude, man. I mean, you should know.
But he bought that mansion. I mean, he already made the big move. Like his whole family wants him in Southern California. Like he's where it is. I mean, and Ant already brought it up. Like now, Paul George's been out since Christmas. It's been like 3 weeks. Like so.
Oh no,
if they make the playoffs.
We're talking about him coming back.
He's got his contract this summer. He's not. He has a player option in 24-25 season. So yeah.
Oh, so he just signed an. Okay, so Blueberry's right. He just signed an extension. He must have.
Yeah, I thought it was something like that. But so yeah, they're just waiting.
So they're fine then. Like they'll whatever it is, like they'll get that situated.
Yeah, I mean, like they're not.
I don't look at them the same. Like I don't fear the Clippers. Like and this is before the injury. Like before I even knew Kawhi tore his ACL. I just didn't have like a fear of them coming to the season. I'm like, damn, like you got to worry about like Clippers. Like I don't know, it's just something not hitting the same. I don't know if because. I mean, even if Lou was there, he's not the same. But when Lou was there, I thought that was like their best, like talent wise. I thought that was like their best chance.
What do you mean when Lou was there? What do you mean?
When Lou Williams was on the Clippers, that was like when I looked.
Oh, got you. I thought you were saying Tyronn Lue. I was like, what?
Oh, no.
Lou didn't get along with those guys though. Lou was a part of that. Like him and Montrez, they were part of that. That scrappy Clippers
Lou
team.
Was a part of that too.
Well, Lou was a part of the Gallinari, Trez, like they all didn't like whenever Paul George
when the changes took place.
Because they were like, we were a frisky good team with Doc Rivers and everyone liked him, SGA and all that. So when they traded for the big dogs, they were just like, we don't like these guys because Lou Williams he was the leading scorer on a playoff team, and now he's got to get less shots than Paul George and Kawhi. So
yeah, you remember they were talking about how Paul George and and Kawhi get days off and stuff like that, and yada yada this, yada yada that. They were getting pissed off.
Yeah, special treatment. They were complaining about special treatment.
I mean, I thought it was just Kawhi. I didn't know PG.
Yeah, they grouped them together because they're like the new star wings that got all this money, and we traded all of our, it's similar to what Brooklyn did. Like you foster this good young team of like guys that overachieve and make the playoffs, and then you package a bunch of them and you get rid of them for guys like Kawhi, Paul George, KD, and Kyrie.
But look, Blueberry, like you actually like help improve my point of earlier what I was getting at of why I thought the Clippers were the favorite, because they like greatly overachieved. Like nobody had to make the playoffs that year, and they made it. And then like, if I'm not mistaken, they either like got a win against the Warriors or like they like put up a fight or something like that. So it's like all they pretty much did was replace Shai and Gallinari for Kawhi and Paul George. And I'm like, that's an upgrade for a team that just overachieved. Like, even though they got rid of the pitch and all that, so I know the future is a little shaky, but as far as like a win now mode, I felt like that was like the perfect formula. Like, so
to be fair, remember the Clippers have never been to the conference finals. And what did they do after they got those guys? They went to the conference finals. So they're happy.
No, it wasn't with them though. They blew the 3-1 lead first.
What did they do last year?
Yeah, but that wasn't like the team. Like Kawhi wasn't there. So
Kawhi was there last year.
It doesn't matter. They still made the conference finals.
Who do you think was playing against Luka last year?
Oh, yeah.
That was Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi didn't get hurt till the playoffs, but he was winning games first. But I mean, they made the conference finals. Like I said, they did better than the Lou Williams Montrez team, and now they're contenders. But I don't know why we're talking about the Clippers. There's no reason to talk about them until Kawhi gets back and Paul George being even out. Hell, what are they even in the playoffs? Probably not. I haven't looked at the West standings. Let me see.
Yeah, last time I looked, but I mean, who knows since then? That was weeks ago. All right,
they're ninth. Oh, guess what? Here, this is great. The Lakers are 8th and the Clippers are 9th.
Iron.
If only the Clippers had LeBron James.
This guy. So apparently, remember we did our all-star starters list and stuff. Apparently Wiggins has a chance to start.
Nah, that's just the voters, right? Like, don't they?
Yeah, so it's 50% votes, fan votes, 25% media, 25% players. So if he wins the fan vote, it helps his chances a lot, but it's not a guarantee. But
yeah,
that would be like, so like, I don't know if you remember when like Zaza Pachulia, like they his country trolled him into the starter list, right?
Yeah,
but
the country
because like literally nobody voted for Pachulia outside of that. Wiggins can actually get votes from the media, maybe not first or second or third place, but if he has enough vote, like, because it's an accumulative of votes.
Well,
whoever has the most votes overall, that's who gets the spot.
But that's what I'm saying is they covered themselves with those other factions, like you brought up. Like the Zaza thing scared them because you used to just be like,
no, that was the first year that was the year they changed it.
No, it was after Zaza because
that was the year because that's why he didn't make it. Otherwise, he would have started.
No, because the last votes, like someone passed him, and a lot of people thought that the NBA like might have just fudged the votes because they were like, we're not doing this, like we're not wasting an all-star spot on this, and so they changed it to where it's only percentage. That's what I'm saying. Like Wiggins is not getting, he's not getting in. Like no matter what the fans do, he's not getting in. It's just not.
All right, we shall see. I mean, Luka, I know you guys had some questions about that after we hopped off air, but Luka pretty much solidified that the other day. So.
Oh yeah, because we all picked Luka and they were like, but everyone's picking John now. But then they went head to head and Luka gave him the business. And now the Mavs are fit
on national TV.
Ja still looks good though. Yeah, but either one's good.
No, I did see Ja is getting a little more votes, but I think by the time that they send the finalist votes in, I think Luka probably have more fan votes than you.
Oh yeah, I forget
what is Devin Booker doing this season? Because I mean, the Phoenix Suns are still one seed in the West.
Doing what you do, 24 a game, I think, 24, 4 or 5 regular.
Booker's problem is he plays next to Chris Paul, so it's like they kill each other with the votes because they both play guard. Like if Booker was like a small forward, then they could spread out votes, but they both just steal each other's guard votes. You know,
I mean, he's gonna make the game.
Oh yeah, they're both gonna make it. Yeah, exactly. But the problem is Curry's a lock for guard, and so it's picking that other spot. And it seems like it's between Luka and Ja now.
All right, fellas. Well, I appreciate you once again, man. Thank y'all for pulling up. Thank you to everybody who's been tuning in, man. Continue to share and comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's keep going. I will hopefully see you guys next week with the NFC AFC Championship results.
Hopefully we're wrong about something.
Hopefully what? Oh,
you know, because I mean, this weekend was real predictable. So hopefully there's some surprises. You don't even, and then the upset that did happen, like a lot of people don't even look at it as a surprise. Yeah, because the Cowboys losing is never a surprise.
Right. Well, hopefully we still.
I'm hoping there's a little upset this weekend. Like
that's why I'm betting on the Rams. That's what I want. If the Bucks,
that's the upset. Fuck Brady. Stafford, I want you to show me something. Show me this 2 weeks.
Yeah, man. Shut him up, Stafford.
I'm trying to think what I could parlay. I'm trying to think what I could parlay like a Packers win with, because that's the only reason I made money last week was because I just took 3 overwhelming favorites and put them together. I bet like $200. I bet like $250 and like $310.
I would not parlay the Packers.
Oh, you scared of the Niners? Oh, you're real scared.
I really think I honestly think the Niners can pull that off. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really think like if obviously everything has to go right because Rodgers is like magnificent at capitalizing on mistakes. But yeah, if they have a good game and minimize the ball in Garoppolo's hands, other than when absolutely needed, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
All right, we'll see, man. We'll see next week. We'll see.
If you cop on this bitch crying, we'll know exactly what happened.